Hello guys. Like I said from last time, this is going to be my new series which is basically just Izuku and Senran Kagura. And also, I don't really have a name yet for the actual series. So I'll probably just put in you know, a placeholder for now. So yeah. So, let us begin this story, shall we? So, we go to the perspective of a young boy, aka we currently see a small kid, and being that of Izuku. So, to explain this universe, there's no quirks. Trust me, there's no quirks in this universe, or any of the MHA characters, except for a few selections, which are probably just going to be forgotten, to me, or at least. So, we currently see a kid by the name of Izuku. His name is Izuku Midoriya, as we currently see him running around in the grass, as we currently see his mother, and, his father, as she would say this, specifically the mother, aka Inko Midoriya. As Inko was watching their son, basically playing in the grass, as she would say this, hmm, little Izuku's doing pretty well for himself, she would say, as his father, aka being that of Kiria Midoriya. As he would say this, yes, honey, he's certainly quite the rascal, he would say. As after saying that, she would say this, so, when are you gonna go on your business trip? She would say, as he would say this, oh, um, it's gonna take a while, but I did hear that I'm also gonna be staying in an overseas program as well, he would say. As she would say this, oh, Um, I see, she would say, as he would say this. Yeah, apparently it's last minute, so yeah, he would say. But don't worry, Inko. I'll still have time to visit. If I can, at least, he would say. As she would say this. Oh, sure, Kiria, she would say. As both of them would kiss. As after doing so, Izuku would start running up to them, as he would say this. As Izuku would say this, Mama, Papa, he would say, as she would say it, as Inko would say this. Oh, what is it, Izuku? She would say. As he would say this, look, look, he would say, as he would show off a flower, which is quite beautiful. As one of them would say this, Aw, you shouldn't have, she would say, as she would put the flower on her hair. As Kiria would say this, you really are beautiful with that, he would say. As she would say this, oh, please don't flatter me, she would say. And after that, they would start leaving the area, going back home. Afterwards, we would go later on. After about a few months after that little, talk with them, or at least specifically with her and, Valkyria. So, wait for a second. It's been about a month after that little, play session with Izuku, as we currently see our boy Kiria as he's kissing goodbye, basically saying goodbye to both of them, as he would say this. Hmm, I'll be coming back very soon. Maybe on the holidays, he would say. As Izuku would be crying as he would say this. Papa, I'll miss you, he would say. As he would best just be crying as he would say this. Shh, shh, don't worry. I'll come back soon, he would say. As after that, he would also give a passionate kiss to Inko as he would say this. Hope to see you again, Inko, he would say. As after saying that, he would say goodbye to both of them, leaving in a car. So, after going inside of the car, he would look towards another man, as he would say this. Hmm, so what is the mission exactly, he would say. As he would say this. Specifically, an old man with. As the old man would be revealed, the old man would seem to be wearing traditional Japanese clothing, including some socks and also wooden sandals. As he was currently eating a bowl of rice, as he was also has gray hair and a big mustache and somewhat goatee, as he would say this. Well, it seems that we have some problems with the recent attacks against well, the evil ninjas, he would say. As one of them would say this, specifically Kirya, I see. So, how long is it, he would say. As he would say this, I honestly don't know. But we recently found out that apparently they're planning to do something horrible. And it's going to be taking about, well, I don't honestly know. Not only that, I wanted to say this to you, he would say. As he would show off, 5 files. As, or not really 5 files, but more like 2 files. As, after grabbing them, he would say this. As he would look at the files, as he would say this. I want you to train these new generations of ninjas, he would say. As he would say this. But Hanzo don't know, he would say. As he would say this. Please, we need to protect everybody from this. After all, it's the duty of a ninja of light, a good ninja to protect everybody, he would say. No matter the cost, he would say. And that means leaving your family, he would say. As after saying that, he would say this. Fine, he would say. If it means protecting my family, then I'll gladly do it. As he would say this. Don't worry. You'll be able to see your family soon enough. After our mission. And even sometimes during holidays, he would say. As he would say this. Thank you, Hanzo Dono, he would say. As after saying that, he would say this. Oh, so, I heard that you have a son, he would say. As he would say this. Yes, he would say. As he would say this. Well, I do have a daughter the same age as you, he would say. As he would give off a shit-eating grin. As he would say this. Don't tell me you're... As he would say this. Come on, it sounds interesting, he would say. As he would say this. Sorry, but my kid is not really the type of person to talk all that much. In fact, he's a bit shy against, well, others he don't know, he would say. As he would say this. So he has, so he's a introvert, perhaps, he would say. As he would say this. Well, yeah, said Kiria. As after that, he would say this. Sure then. But either way, let's just wait. Let's just continue on with our much more, important, wait for a second. Let's continue on with some much more important matters, he would say. As after saying that, we would go, fast forward a little bit. So, before we can actually, continue on, I just want to preface to say, Izuku in this one, we will start off him basically being about, about 5 years old. As he's currently, still pretty much a kid. And let us continue on to about, 2 years later, as he's now 7. We currently see now an Izuku that's currently just like, pretty much sad that his father is basically never came back home. Ever since 2 years ago, he's been, in the company for a while now, or at least in the overseas, in his overseas job, which makes him sad. But his mother still has hope, and is currently, driving him towards towards somewhere, specifically somewhere that apparently she's been wanting to bring him for a while. As Izuku would say this, Mama, why are you bringing me somewhere exactly? He would say, as he would say this. I meant she. Well, I have somewhere to show you. It's sort of a family tradition of ours to basically go there. She would say, as he would say this. Wait, really? He would say, as he would say this. Or she. Yes, it's actually sort of well, a family thing passed down from me to from my mother to from my grandfather, from my so on and so forth. She would say, as he would say this. Whoa. So can I see see my cousins again? He would say, as he would say this. I meant she. Hmm? Oh, maybe, she would say. Wait for a second. As we continue on, we would basically see him, still in the car as they're currently driving around, through the countryside. Or not really the countryside, but more like the road. As while they're basically driving, Izuku would see something that seems weird. It seems to be some sort of shadowy figure, but he doesn't know what it is exactly. It seems to be some sort of creature that resembles a ghost? A doll? Or at least that's what he thinks, as he would say this. Mama? What is that over there? He would say, as he would point towards the window, as she would look and would say to herself, Shit, is that crap, she would say, as she would say this. Oh, it's nothing, she would say. It's probably just your imagination, she would say. As after saying that, she would just continue on driving as she would go a little bit faster. As the creature would slowly start catching up to them. As she would say this to herself. Shit, shit, shit. Why is a demon here? She would say to herself. As she would say this. Mama, are you mad? She would say. As she would say this. I'm fine, just. Well, it's just not. But before she can say anything else, something happens to the brakes. As she would say, shit, shit, she would say. As she would try to, use the brakes or something to basically slow down their speed. As a car would pass random, past them and would slam into them. Time would slow as she would say this. Shit, she would say. As after that, the time would resume as the car would crash, as it would smash towards, a nearby, railing, or I guess you can say railing, as she would get stabbed by a piece of glass right across her chest. As, a light pole would basically, well, would basically, activate as she would say this. Or at least she would basically, or at least the car would slam into a light pole as gasoline would basically come out of there. As the wires of the light post would start, activating, basically sparking around. As she would say this. Shit, she would say. As she would look towards her child. As she would say this. Get out, she would say. As Izuku would say this. Mama? Mama, he would say as he would say this. No, leave me, he would say, as she would say. As he would say this. Mama, he would say, as she would start crying. As he would say this. Get out! I don't let you. As after saying that, she would look over and would say this. I'm guessing that demon's back, she would say. Well, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna take that thing with me, she would say. As she would look towards her child, as she would push him, you know, outside, allowing him to escape. As Izuku, was pushed about far enough for the car to basically, not hurt him anymore, or at least not for long. As before he can actually catch up to her, it would explode. Time would slow again. As Izuku would say this, Mama? He would say, as she would say this in her last breath. Hope you're okay. I hope you'll grow strong, Izuku. I hope you'll. But before she can say anything else, the car would explode, killing her. And the quote unquote demon, or at least that's what she said, with her. As Izuku would just be dumbstruck. His eyes would start bawling out as you'd say, Mama? Mama? As Izuku would start crying, as you'd scream out, Mama! He would say, as after that, Izuku would black out. So, a few days have gone by, as they're currently in the funeral of Inko Midoriya. You would currently see a completely depressed Izuku, as Izuku was crying, bawling his eyes out at this point, as he would just, cry for her basically being dead, as he would look over and would see the rest of his family as they were also crying. Mostly his mother's side, as one of them would say this. Hey, Izuku, said one of them, as Izuku is still crying, as he would say this. Yeah, he would say, as he would say this. It seems that we're going to be together now. Don't worry, I'll be your guardian, he would say. As after saying that, he would say this. You can call me Dad, I guess you could say. He would say. As he would say this. Where's Papa? He would say. As he would say this. That bastard didn't go to his own wife's funeral. That bastard, he would say to himself. As after that, the funeral would end as Izuku and the man would start leaving. And so, this is where I'm going to be ending off this episode. So, yeah, so, goodbye!